Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's A Bite of Mandarin. I believe you often see a garden around your own house, right? You may say, of course, this is the most ordinary thing. But have you ever seen a garden with rockery, pavilion, and even small artificial lake? Well, this is not an illusory place. In today's program, we will introduce Yuan, the Chinese classical garden, which is one of the treasures of the ancient Chinese landscape art, symbolizing the traditional Chinese culture. Yuan is the typical pictographic character, that is, a kind of drawing abstracted from the real things. Through the evolution of the character, we can have a glimpse of the historical development of the Chinese classical gardens.
The character Yuan can date back to 4,000 years ago, written on the oracle bones initially. As you can see, there's a square circle with trees inside, showing the ancient people's initial perception of the garden where only trees and flowers were planted. After 400 years, the character was carved on bronze in a new pattern with richer content symbolizing wood, stone, and river. 1,000 years later, garden was a certain area where natural grasses, trees, birds, and animals flourished for the emperor to hunt. Up till then, the four basic elements of Chinese garden has been formed, which constitutes the concept of garden design that have been passed down to this day. The outer frame is a fence. The upper part represents mountains high above. The circle means a pond rich in living creatures, and the lower part stands plants and trees. Based on this concept, the real gardens have grown richer over time. In the 7th century, Yuan had a new evolution which is more standardized and formalized. At that time, garden was in its heyday, where poetry and landscape painting developed greatly. The garden landscape has been harmonious with nature and seasons to create a year-round landscape. 1,000 years later, Royal Garden reached its most active period, and many famous gardens were built, such as the Winter Palace and the Summer Palace in Beijing. Yuan was also simplified to what it is today. Since then, garden has been an important treasure in Chinese culture.
Now, you may find that the Chinese character Yuan has a long history. So, here comes the question. For people around the world, what was their first impression of the Chinese classical gardens? Let's go to the Kew Gardens in the UK and find out the answer in this dedicated Royal Botanic Gardens.
Into the mid-18th century, Chinese style is very popular in British garden design. So, William Chambers, a fan of Chinese architecture and gardens, designed a Chinese garden in Kew Gardens with a pagoda in it. Interestingly, this pagoda has 10 floors. However, in traditional Chinese gardens, the number of pagodas is usually 9, not 10. And this pagoda, together with this small piece of garden, is the world's first impression of Yuan and has been standing there for nearly 300 years. An exquisite garden can always arouse people's imagination. In fact, when we browse videos about Chinese gardens on YouTube, we can easily find that these videos often have a high number of views, and netizens from all the world share their moods and emotions related to gardens in the common area.
Chinese classical gardens are more than just a glimpse into history. Nowadays, Chinese artists even seek to integrate the Chinese classical gardens into an airport. Let's take a look at it.
Now I'm in the Daxing International Airport. Wait, what? It seems like a Chinese garden. The Central Academy of Fine Arts was in charge of arranging the artworks at the Daxing Airport. Stone paths, artificial rocks made of steel, a tea tree hung upside down above a water pool. These interesting works come together, making the corridor a peaceful garden. Next time when passing through this airport, you might as well explore this tranquil retreat at the terminal.
Well guys, I believe that you have gained a deeper understanding of the Yuan and are deeply in love with this beautiful architecture that embodies the profound Chinese culture. This is today's A Bite of Mandarin. We'll see you next time.